So a couple months ago, a company called Bigfoot Bushcraft reached out to us and they said, hey, we've got this product called fire plugs. We want you to check it out. Let us know what you think. Shoot a video. So we're like, hey, that's cool. We like checking out new products. So I got these in. I haven't had a chance to use them yet. So I'm out here camping with the family and we're about to make a fire. And I also have some Pyro Putty. So what we're gonna do, as you can see, I'll break this down. I'll show you what we got in this this package. It's pretty cool. So I'm gonna put it to the test. I'm gonna compare these two fire starter products. And I've used this once before. I've never used these ever. So I'm gonna show you what they send us in the kit. And then I'm gonna put these two to the test and compare and contrast. I've got the fire right down here, and I chopped up some redwood. So we're gonna have the same type of wood, same size, and we're gonna see what lights the fire the best. So the kit that Bushcraft sent us, it's this bag of fire plugs, and it comes in individual plugs. They're, I don't know if you can see that, about that size, I don't know, maybe 1.5 inches long, and individual plugs. And they also sent this tin, so you can fill up your tin before every trip from the bag and just carry the tin of plugs. One thing I'll tell you right away, I much prefer, I've never used these, so we'll see how it works out in the end, but I much prefer this over digging the Pyro Putty out of the tin. When this stuff gets cold, it's really hard to work with. It does work really well the one time I used it, but the idea of having these individual plugs, it sounds great. So what they say is, so it says, step 1, bend the plug back and forth to kind of break it up, and then you rub the two halves together and kind of get it frayed out, and then you start your fire. So one more thing that came with the kit that they sent was this cool fire starter. So I'm gonna try to use this to start the fire. It's a flint, and it comes with the striker and everything. The way it's shaped, you got this edge right here, and you know, start your fire. So to give you an example, you can see it produces spark pretty well. So we're gonna put it to the test. All right, so I'm gonna build out 2 individual little piles of kindling and wood and put the fire starters in there and see what I can do with just the striker. See what happens. So I'm gonna build a little square of wood and kindling and then put the fire starter inside the square. Now again, this is dry aged redwood. It's probably 5 years old and it's been sitting out, so it's not like we're working with tough conditions here. So equal playing field for both starters. So I've got my little pile. What I'm gonna do is drop the fire starter down the middle of each one, and then I'm gonna lay one bigger chunk of wood over each one, and I'll see how long it takes. So you can see what I mean with this Pyro Putty. It's harder to work with for sure. It's not very pliable. So there it is. I'm gonna try to break it up. I'm gonna stick it down on this one. That'll be the starter for that pile. And let's go get the fire plugs. All right, so it's my first go around with the fire plugs. So I break it up. I'm gonna twist it from both ends. It's definitely more pliable than Pyro Putty. Oh, it broke. Well, we'll see if it works. I'm gonna put it down here. Okay, let's start a fire. Well, just like that, 4 or 5 strikes and the fire plugs are going. I'm gonna put that bigger chunk of wood over the top. See what happens. Let's go with the Pyro Putty. Well, I don't know. The evidence would suggest that these fire plugs are much superior because with a striker, I can't get this Pyro Putty going. So I'm gonna use a fire clicker. And the fire went out. And it went out again. Okay, we have flame on the Pyro Putty. I'm gonna put my bigger chunk across. So here we have the fire plugs and the Pyro Putty. So this is the first time I've ever used these fire plugs. It's the second time I've ever used Pyro Putty. But based on what I'm seeing here, the fire plugs are the way to go. I mean, 3 or 4 strikes with the striker, that smoke. And they were already going. And now I've already got coals. I'm ready for bigger chunks of wood. And I had to break out the old fire clicker for the Pyro Putty just to get it going. And even that took a little while. I feel like these fire plugs are a superior product. I'm impressed. So, I had to move because smoke was getting in my eyes. So, like I was saying, these fire plugs seem to be a much better product. I'm impressed. So, again, it's Bigfoot Bushcraft fire plugs, and you get the storage tin to take them on your backpacking trips, and you get your fire starter. It's all a kit. So, in this bag, I don't know how many fire plugs it has, but there's a lot in here. This was awesome. I'm impressed. So I'll put the link below. You can check them out. All right, here's the discount code right here, and check it out. Bigfoot Bushcraft.